One Star Rewind.
All right, everybody, we are back with another riveting episode of One Star Rewind. I am here with my good friend Dustin from Southern Roots. How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing well, Dustin. I'm doing well. But before we dive in, as always, our main sponsor, Rogue Media Network. Wherever you get your podcasts, get it from Rogue. We wouldn't be here without that. So, well, thanks, buddy. Well, so before we dive into this review, we like to start every episode just by getting to know you a little bit more. Not everybody knows, your story or how the business got started. So tell us a little about you, and then trail that into how you got started and got involved in the brewing business.
Yeah. So I'm originally from Central Texas, Killeen, Harker Heights area.
Cool.
My father got stationed there when I was a kid, and then I ended up getting stationed back at Fort Hood.
Okay.
I got out, went to Texas State, and when I was a senior, I noticed that breweries were kind of coming to prominence in Texas.
Okay. Give me some timelines, Dustin. So when did you graduate high school?
I left in 2006.
2006. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're like the same age.
Yeah.
We graduated in 2006. Okay. Sorry. Continue. All right.
So I left high school. I joined the Army, got out, went to Texas State.
Gotcha.
And it was my senior year. I was a communications student, and specifically kind of marketing and advertising, and breweries were really popping up in Texas at that time. And I became kind of fascinated with them. Coupled with my dad had also happened to get into home brewing.
Okay.
So I graduated from Texas State and I started working for Dell in Austin.
Okay.
And Austin is like a brewery mecca in Texas.
Oh, it's nuts, man.
Right. So he's getting into homebrew. I'm seeing all these breweries pop up and I'm really enjoying what they have to offer. And we kind of start kicking the idea around of a brewery, and it's more of like, haha, what if we open a brewery? And then we started taking it a little bit more seriously.
Sure.
And we were brewing beer every time one of my siblings got married.
Okay.
We'd take it to the wedding and people said they loved the beer. And we like to joke that eventually I ran out of siblings getting married, so we had to open a brewery.
So you guys opened a brewery.
So
That's too good.
Yeah, we in earnest started looking at opening a brewery probably 2016, 2017.
Okay. Yep.
By 2018, we had a business plan.
Great.
And we had settled on Waco.
Okay.
Like we knew
Yeah.
that's where we wanted to go.
Sure.
And we just sort of through a bizarre divine intervention found the building.
Yeah. Well, why? So you chose Waco, but what was like? Was Waco in the running with another place, or
we were looking everywhere, and
Okay.
and breweries, even though they've kind of been around for 10 years legally, that's a short amount of time.
Sure.
So cities were kind of trying to understand: is this a bar? Is this what is?
Yeah. What are we doing? here? Yeah.
So we were looking for a city that was sort of that growth mindset, and Waco was that.
Okay.
Coupled with my mother had woken up and said, "Hey, I had a dream that we opened a brewery by the silos." And I was like, "Did you fall asleep watching HGTV?"
Yeah, I know. You fix her up on. Like, what are you doing? Yeah.
And what happened next is she went to go sell a chandelier.
Okay.
She sits on the Viva Las Arts board in Killeen.
Okay.
She went to go sell a chandelier, and she was talking to a woman, and she's like, "I'd love to open a brewery in Waco,
Yeah.
but I need a 5,000 square foot building."
Yes.
And the woman goes, "Well, I have a 5,000 square foot building.
Yes.
That's such a cool idea. I'd love to show it to you."
Oh my gosh, man.
Boom. There we were.
Dang.
And that was it.
And that's Viviana?
That's Viviana.
Yeah. I had looked because our escape room is kind of, we're neighbors. And I had gone through there because she was like, "Hey, come look at this building. Give me your thoughts."
Yeah.
And it's a great spot. And so when she had mentioned, I think we're talking to somebody might do a brewery, I was like, "Oh my God, please." Like we'll walk out our back door and go into your spot. So that's incredible. Yeah. It's a good location. So been in business. When did it open?
So we opened officially in October 2019.
Okay, October 2019. Okay, so then you're open for 6 months, have to deal with COVID.
Yeah, world stops. Figure out all the methods of now we're a restaurant that sells beer or something like that. So there's a second location now. Yeah.
What did you... And I know it's not really part of the pod, but I'm just curious.
Sure,
what were the things that when you started the first location made you think, okay, we can do this in another city?
It was interesting to me how quickly the community sort of made it part of their identity.
Yeah.
was quickly, like you'd mentioned earlier, the club.
The club, yep.
It was people that, this is what they did on Saturdays.
Yes.
When their family came into town,
Yeah.
they, I can't, for every customer I met,
Yeah.
I've also met their grandmother,
Yeah.
their brother, their sister-in-law. So
For sure.
it was really interesting to me how quickly it became a community space.
Yeah.
And that's sort of unique to breweries.
Yeah.
As you can go to an Applebee's with your family, but it's not the same.
No.
And I think that breweries and wineries, and even distilleries across Texas,
Sure.
a city that might not have that,
Yeah.
suddenly they have a community space, and that's what we saw.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, we totally call it the country club. It's our country club that we go to, just Southern Roots, and we go in the back. You talked about your schooling, like marketing, and I'm sure other breweries do like the lifetime. The free beer for life or whatever, but that completely hooked us. And, like every customer, we're like, oh yeah, now we're just going to get a free beer every day. And we get like 4, I mean, we're not getting like drunk, but like, 4, you're totally making money on it. And, but it's that allure of the family space of like hang out. You have a cool back area, the Waco one. So the other one is in
Waxahachie.
Waxahachie. Yeah. Thank you. I didn't want to say it. Is it a similar setup, like outdoor, indoor?
It's actually really, so it was a train depot that was built in 1907.
Oh, cool.
So it is the original depot. The walls are lined with some of the original carpenters who built it.
Okay.
They signed their signature on it. Oh. So, I mean, it is historical.
Incredible. Yeah.
And they painted it. I will tell you, when I first saw the color,
I
like called everybody and I said, I'm pretty pissed off because I do not like this color.
Yeah.
But it is the original Union Pacific Yellow.
Wow.
Of 1907.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, the gentleman who bought the building, they brought it back to life.
Cool.
And it has just sat there since I think the 70s.
Okay.
And in fact, when you went in, there was a chalkboard that a group of old men who lived in town.
Yeah.
They were just going in there and playing dominoes.
Okay.
So we preserved that and we put it on the wall.
No, like they had like their scores and stuff on there.
Scores are still on there. Yeah.
What?
So it's it's a lot smaller, but again, it had been there as long as the town.
Yeah.
So it was a great place for people to be like, this is our history, our space.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. Well, that's all the good stuff. You ready? You
I
ready
am.
for the 1-star?
Hit me.
Okay. So before we get started, this was a Google review.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to say, well, I don't even know if I can pronounce her name. I say the name because anybody can go look at this. This is public knowledge. This is Paige Krapunski. Krapunski. I'm sorry, Paige. I messed your name up, but you left a 1-star. So Paige, she has a profile picture here. Mm-hmm. And again, everyone probably listens to this show, like gets sick of me bringing this up, but pictures matter because it tells me this, at least, unless they really are going far with a fake Gmail account, they use this. Yeah. And I think she's in her wedding dress. Like, so this is like, they went to their Gmail account to leave this review, which they were pissed, which tells me something. So, it doesn't say she's left any other reviews because it does say like 12 reviews, 13 reviews if they've left other ones. She hasn't. Yep. And so anyway, this was March 14th. So this March? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this past March. Yep. At 11:17 a.m. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready to do the rewind?
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm going to make the noise, okay? All right, let's do the rewind.
It's pretty good.
Did you like that? Okay, thanks. All right, Paige said, all caps, horrible experience, exclamation point. The employees were rude and had an attitude anytime we asked for anything. They put the dog bowls right next to all the napkins, silverware, plates on top of the main counter. They also allowed dogs to sit at the bar, drooling on the countertops. The employees were petting, kissing the dogs, and then walking straight back to handle and deliver the food. Should be called Southern Pooch instead, but the dogs were treated better than the humans. Come here if you want dog hair in and on anything you consume. Southern Pooch. Pooch. End of review. So real quick, Dustin, before I ask you what happened, is this Waco location or is this Waxahachie? Okay. Just double checking. So, all right, Dustin, what happened here? Tell me.
So we are dog friendly.
Dog friendly.
And I'd also like to point out all of our health inspections are available upon request and they are all A+.
That's good. That's good. I think they can even go find those, like when they do those health. Anyway, so
I keep them all. So if anybody ever wants to see them, we have great health record.
That's great.
But we actually keep, so the spent grain
Okay.
After a brew day,
Yeah.
we convert into dog treats.
Oh.
And we keep them in a dog bowl up by the bar.
Oh, that's cool.
That way somebody can walk up and grab a
Great.
dog treat.
Sure. I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you remember like how big was this a big dog?
we get.
Well, there's multiple. She said dogs with an S.
I mean, people, because we've got the big garage doors and the outdoor space, and a lot of people, travel with their dogs. We get tons of tourists who are like,
Sure.
"Hey, I'm traveling. Should I leave my dog in the car while I come in?"
Yep.
No, come on in.
Sure.
Okay.
So back up a little bit. So grain. So I don't know much
yeah.
about the brew business. So you called it a what? A grain?
The spent grain.
The
so
spit grain?
the spent.
Spent.
Yeah.
Oh, spent grain.
Yep.
Okay.
Once we convert all the sugar
Yeah.
from the grain
Okay.
that we're going to use to actually create the beer,
Okay.
all that grain is just left behind. And a lot of it we actually give away to local farmers for free.
Okay.
So they can feed their cattle.
Oh, very
and-
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we also use some of it to make dog treats.
So you literally will like make a little like a bar or a bone or
Right.
something like that out of the grain.
Yes.
Could you just pour it into a bowl and they would just eat the grain, or is that
Probably
not
would, but
okay?
they put. We actually outsource it to a lady who owns the company in Georgetown.
Okay.
And she puts some like nutrients. and
Sure.
stuff.
Okay.
Makes it a little bit more
Makes it more
better for the dog.
Okay. So how often do you do these days? Like, is this once a month? Is this once a week? Like, does the spent grain?
Oh, so every day we so like this week we're brewing 4 times.
Okay.
So we'll have 4 days. You're talking about 350 to 450 pounds of used grain. So most of it's going to farmers, which
Sure.
is great. They're
Yeah.
saving money.
That's big time, big time.
But a little bit of it does
Okay.
go to make dog treats.
Okay, so this pretty much any day if there's a dog that comes in,
Yeah.
you hey, we have a dog treat for
Absolutely.
you. Okay, so it's not like a Fridays bring your dog day and we
Right.
have
No,
dog
we just
treats
have 'em on-
all the time.
yeah.
Okay, so this is like an always thing. So the bowls. Okay, so help me. Do you remember this?
No.
Do you? Okay, no idea. Do you remember when this review was left? Like, did you see it pop up
Yes.
on?
And like I sent it to everybody and
Yeah.
they all laughed.
Like, what's going on
We
here?
weren't even offended.
Yeah.
Like there are 1-star reviews I get
Sure.
where I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, we gotta talk about this guy.
Yeah, what happened here? Yeah.
But this one I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, they don't mention like anything good or bad about the beer. They don't really mention. They mention the handling of the food, but they don't mention like liking the food or not. So
and our kitchen's open. You can see right into it.
yeah, you can see
And
right
you can
there.
see the employees wearing gloves, washing their hands. So
Well, and it's like, and to give for people that haven't been into your brew play, your brewery, there's like the counter where you order the beer,
Right.
But then there's another section where you order the food there too, but
Right.
then there's another area where they make like the pizza
Yes.
and like the food you're actually consuming isn't even at the bar top.
No.
So I don't know. I mean, I get the people bringing food, but if they're not, this isn't dog food. This is a dog treat.
Yes.
So they're just handling
it's a dry good up at the bar.
it's a dry good at the bar,
Yeah.
drooling on the countertops. I mean, people don't, if they put like let's say it was a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite thing to do with this podcast is like, I like to try to imagine what the scenario was here. So let's say it was a huge German Shepherd.
Right.
They don't allude to how big the dog was. Would an employee
Yeah.
say like, hey, it's 100-pound dog, probably don't put it on the counter. Like, do you
Yeah.
think they would have said that?
And I have yet to meet a customer
Who would put
who
their
would
dog?
you know what I mean? Now, don't get. I've seen people with they have a little dog in their purse or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
But those are
Yeah.
few and far between.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly, if you see a dog, it's laying on the floor.
It's laying on the floor. Yeah. My wife and I, so we have 2 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
We have she's a miniature golden doodle. So some golden doodles are like huge, like
Yes.
80, 90 pounds. This is a miniature one. So she's like 35 pounds. She's hardy, but she's still too big. We would never put her on a counter. Like
Right.
she would be on the floor.
It's a little dramatic.
It's a little dramatic, but we have a little dog. So her name's Lucy, Maltese. She's like 10 pounds. And now she's old, like she's the old lady dog. And so we would probably not put her on the ground.
Sure.
I we've never taken her into a brewery, so I don't know what we would do, but I could see at some point, like putting Lucy maybe I don't say on the counter, maybe we would, but like feed her the bone there. But even that would feel weird to me.
I think most people have a healthy understanding of what's appropriate.
Of where that's going. So she was mentioning we'll go back to the top here, just saying the employees were rude too. Like it seems this is like a generic, and then she gets really specific, which is interesting. But she just like, employees were rude and had an attitude. And then talked about the dog bowls.
Apparently not towards the dogs, though, because they were hugging.
They were hugging and kissing the dogs. Totally. So do you think there was like a bad experience and then she just used the dog thing as the example?
It's totally conceivable. I mean, I've always found that once there's one thing they don't like, then all of a sudden everything is bad.
Yeah.
And maybe, I mean, if they had a line and they didn't feel like they got served in a certain amount of time, or if they were busy, maybe, we really try to make sure we have customer service and deliver a great experience. But I'm also not naive.
Yeah. Sure.
It's you're not going to win them all.
No, you're not going to win them all. You're not going to win them all. I don't understand. So the napkin silverware plates on top of the main counter, I'm trying to recall, do you put plates and silverware and napkins on?
So we have barrels that we use as sort of serving stations that have plates, napkins, silverware.
Where is that in the? So I'm walking in.
If you're facing the bar,
I'm facing the bar.
It's just slightly to the left of the bar.
Okay, so it's not even on the bar top.
It's completely separate.
So like, why would there?
So by the point of sale system is on the actual bar is a bowl that says free dog treats.
Oh, well, so then you're just grabbing the dog treat out of the bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Paige, I'm trying here for you, but I don't know. Okay, all right, the employees were petting and kissing the dogs and then walking straight back, handling, delivering the food. I mean, an employee hopefully is not putting their mouth on my food before it comes out of the kitchen anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that would matter, or and again, I'm trying to see it from the point of view like, dogs aren't like the cleanest of animals, right? Not many animals are clean, but so I get it. There should be something there, but it really just sounds like Southern pooch, Southern root, Southern pooch is a good. That could be a T-shirt, by the way, with the dog on there. It's just a good place to bring your dog, and people love dogs. We're pregnant right now, so we're having a baby. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah. But really, up until about 23 weeks ago, like. We are the people that treat our dogs like humans. Yeah. Like we are, like Lauren and I, like they are humans to us. And so being able to take a dog in somewhere is like, it is part of the family. Yeah. Goes back to that family atmosphere that you guys have. And so it's almost like in some ways I think it was funny when you sent this review around, kind of everyone joking more about it, but it kind of is like, yeah, we are dog friendly.
You're right. You got us.
You got us. You kind of, I like how you can own it there. Do you think so she mentions at the very end, so she says, come here if you want dog hair in and on anything you consume. But she doesn't mention in the review that there was dog hair.
Just that it could be.
Yeah. So that's a fair assessment, right? She wasn't claiming there was dog hair.
I mean, hypothetically, there could be E. coli on the spinach. It could happen. I won't rule it out.
It could be on all this stuff. No, that's very true. Well, yeah. I mean, it's outlier stuff. I mean, so you go to your Google page or like Facebook. I mean, so many 5 stars or like recommend. Yeah. So we always make that. We always have to say that because I think people don't ever, like when we do our podcast, like there aren't 55 1-star reviews mentioning dog hair and stuff. So this is just, I think Paige clearly had some bad experience and then wanted to throw it all onto the poor dog.
We cracked up about the Southern pooch and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, all right, something set her off. And in Paige's defense, something didn't go the way we would have wanted it to. How she espoused that is hilarious. But, but to be fair,
and then we have these talks about like, I don't even know if I'd call Southern Roots a small business now. I mean, you have 2 locations, but like, you're not at the chain level yet. You don't have 55 stores, right? So it's still, these reviews matter. Like this is not. I always use Chick-fil-A as the example, but this isn't Chick-fil-A. Like these reviews, people read them, but there's no feedback here. One, it's always every owner, and I think you'd say the same thing here. Would be like, send me an email about something.
Yeah.
Not a 1-star Google review, but this doesn't mention. I don't know how you could be better, besides taking the dog off a counter. But like, really, it was something else.
I will.
And she doesn't mention it.
I have periodically, since Southern Roots has been open, there are probably 1 or 2 times people have told me they don't like dogs in the building.
Okay.
And now they might be allergic. I get it, you know?
Yeah.
So to be fair, there are people who probably don't like being around dogs in the same way that, I have 4 kids.
Sure.
There are times I'm like, I don't want to be around kids.
I don't about my kids here.
So, but I won't leave them a 1-star review.
No. And Dustin, you bring up a great point, because I think if we reworded Paige's review to say, horrible experience, the employees were rude, I asked them to take the dog out, I'm allergic, they didn't listen to me, and I was hacking and sneezing. Yeah. That's a completely different review to me. Yep. But it transitions from like, they're rude and had attitude, period. Yeah. And then they talk about dogs.
Right.
So,
which that's the most important thing to me. Yeah. Were my employees rude?
Yeah.
Like, I would like to know.
Totally. Like, why were they rude? What happened? Yeah. And in some of these reviews, it'll go through, I ordered, like, what's like a top beer that people
Hot Blonde.
Hot Blonde. So like I ordered Hot Blonde. It took me 20 minutes to get it. Yeah. And then it came out and it was all hoppy, or it was this or that.
Warm,
like it was warm. Like, and then I wanted it, a re-pour. I don't know what you'd call it, but like, take this back, give me a new one. Yeah. And they didn't do it. And like, it could have gone all that. It doesn't mention anything like that. Nope. So this one's a tough one. This is hard because there's no like way to be better here outside of tell your staff, just be nice to everybody, which they should be, but it doesn't really give a lot of specifics. So I don't know, Paige, this is a tough one. You didn't hear from her?
No.
She didn't like message or email or phone call? Man, I wonder if she's been back in since then.
I don't know.
Probably not with a dog.
Yeah.
maybe she lost her dog. I don't know. I mean,
it could be a bad day.
It's a bad day. Everyone has those bad days. All right. Okay, Dustin. So we rewound. We talked about the past. Yeah. Been talking about some present here, about what's going on. So future. Did it change, or do you like have a very firm policy now about don't put dogs on the counter, or did it do anything in that realm?
No, but I will tell you that, it is hey guys, if you do pet a dog, make sure you wash your hands.
Yeah.
It's always a healthy reminder, because I got dogs. I'll walk past my dog, scratch his head, and then go right into the cabinet and grab some goldfish, not even think about it.
Think about it. Yeah.
Sometimes just being, considerate of cleanliness and hygiene, and especially given what happened in the last 2 years.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Stay on top of it.
Yeah. That definitely does matter.
Sometimes little reminders, and and at the end of the day, you try to have thick skin, but you always take every review personally. So it was, you know what, guys, let's make sure that we're not. Yeah. It's a place for everyone. Southern Roots is a place for everyone. Yeah. Let's make sure we're upholding that.
Good. I love it.
So
okay. Final thing before we go.
Yeah.
We always end with if Paige was in the room here, you get a parting shot. Yeah. Dustin, you get to say one last thing to Paige in reference to this review. Yeah. So if I'm Paige and I'm sitting right here, what would you say to me?
I would say, and I've thought about this. I'm really sorry that we didn't make your experience what you came in for it to be. And give us another shot.
Give another shot.
Give us another shot.
Okay. And she can bring her dog in.
She can bring her dog. Okay. She can bring a cat. I don't care.
Bring a bunny.
Whatever you got.
You have that great outside, so they can all roam around. So cool. All right. Well, Dustin, thank you so much for coming on One Star
Rewind.
You for
having me.
I appreciate it, man. We'll bring beer next time.
I will.
Okay, cool. All right.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.